All right, we are back on the Frazer Smith Show, presented by the accident attorneys at sweetjames.com. If you've been hurt in an accident, call 1-800-9-MILLION. I don't think I can say that any faster, Mel.
That hurt me.
I'm going to work on that, though. Joining us right now, one of our favorite people, comedian, actor, Billy Gardell. Billy.
Yeah, buddy.
Good morning, Frazer. Good morning, Mel. Tell Mel that I'm here. I don't want to market me absent.
He'll send you another text right now.
You just see Mel outside your house like, yo, would you come, man?
I have him stake out most of our guests.
Wednesday. Come on, what day is today?
Like Robert Mitchum.
He'll track you down.
Like that dude in that old movie. He's like, what's the paper boy that wouldn't stop chasing me? I want my $2.
Oh, yeah. That's Mel.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I want to ask you, what do you think? You're a big Steeler fan. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers going there?
Next question.
Okay. Okay. I guess that says it all.
I just don't get it, Frazier. I don't know what we're trying to do with that guy. I don't. I like that Will Howard from Ohio State. I think he's great.
Oh, that's a good pick.
But, I ain't got no ownership in the team, just my heart. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I think the guy from Ohio State, he's good. So that's
well, the last time we put a big kid from Ohio State behind center, it worked out pretty good. Now, I'm not a detective, but that's a pretty straight line.
That is true, man. You are really a talented actor, and I like the transition you were able to make. A lot of comics have tried that and not been able to, and some have been able to make that transition from being a stand-up, which you, of course, started as, and became a really talented actor.
Bonafide,
yeah.
Thanks, man. I worked pretty hard on it. I love it as much as stand-up, and it gives me such joy. And, when I set out as a stand-up, my goal was to get to Hollywood and get my own sitcom. And I just was blessed with the people I worked with. The first thing I landed was a reoccurring role on Yes Dear with Mike O'Malley and Anthony Clark and Gina Louise Kelly, Liza Snyder, and then the executive producer, Greg Garcia, who remains a dear friend to this day. Like, if Mike and Molly was my pro team, I think Yes Dear was my college time, because I learned so much on that set from Greg Garcia and Alan Kirshenbaum, and they really got me, as a recurring character, I got ready to be able to possibly get a lead, and then it happened. Chuck Lorre saw me, said, I think you're the guy for Mike and Molly, and then we did that, and I thought, all right, well, that was the most amazing thing ever, and I got to work with Melissa McCarthy and the rest of that wonderful cast, and got directed by Jimmy Burrows, and it was a dream come true. And I thought after that was over, well, I'll just go back to doing stand-up. And then 2 years later, Chuck calls me and says, hey, I got an idea for a compression sock salesman who falls in love with a Nigerian nurse. How do you feel about that?
You got to love that premise.
And then we did another 5-year run, which, that's like winning back-to-back Super Bowls. I got beat with the Lucky Stick.
Well, you had two really successful series.
Yeah, I think Bob Hart's Show is good, and it's sweet, and it says a beautiful thing about love conquers all, especially in today's world. Yeah. I think Mike and Molly's an all-time classic.
Yes, it is.
So, but about the third year of Abishola, I had some health stuff going on. I had type 2 diabetes, and I had some cholesterol stuff and some heart stuff, and I just knew it was time to make a big change. So I stopped touring, and the first wave of COVID had hit. So I really couldn't go out because I was in a danger zone. I was overweight, smoker, type 2 diabetes, asthma, sleep apnea. So I had to stop and clean all that up. And so I took 3 years off to get healthy. And then when I came out of the second show, I thought I was done with stand-up. But, man, and you know this phrase, once a stand-up, always a stand-up. It's no longer.
It's in your blood.
No matter how long you stay away, you just get that twitch, and you got to get to it. And
yeah. Well, you know what? A couple things first.
I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to say it certainly worked. You look fantastic.
Hey, well, man, I always say I look good with my clothes on. Naked, I look like a flying squirrel. But everything comes
good to know. Okay.
You know what I mean?
It worked for Rocky.
I lost 173 pounds. And a strong
wow.
You could fly me down the beach.
That's amazing.
It gave me this rebirth, because when I came out, I had never done social media. I got to social media about, 4 or 5 months ago because I was a TV star. I didn't think I needed it. Boy, was I wrong. But the good thing is, starting over now, I'm in a new body, new energy, new things to write about, and I'm building that now, and it's given me that creative outlet that I love. It's kind of like starting a band over, but you already know how to play guitar, and so there's been a lot of fun to get back up on those boards.
And you are back out there, and we're going to talk about your upcoming shows at Morongo, or show at Morongo. Yeah, that's going to be on July 12th. You're back on the boards. That's awesome, man.
Back on the boards, baby.
Yeah.
Back on the boards.
You've done so well with the acting after starting out in stand-up. What would be your advice to, say, a young comic who is hoping to do some acting and at some point?
Well, I talk to young, I'm at the place now where sometimes a couple of the young comics will come in to a show to see me. It happened in Nashville, and this one young kid comes in and goes, "You're a legend." And then, when you start hearing phrases like that, just means you're very old. But the thing I tell comics is if they're aiming for a sitcom, if you want to be the laugh guy, you're not going to be the lead of the show. So if you're going to be the lead of the show, you have to understand that you're never the funniest guy in the room. And for a lot of comics, that's hard. But if you can put your ego aside on that and understand that you drive the story and react, then you have a chance at that. But you have to understand that going in. And then the other thing is, if you really love this, man, the advice I live on is what my father told me when I first moved to L.A. First of all, he gave me the greatest speech ever before I got in the car. He said, "You ain't pretty, you don't know nobody, you ain't got no money. You better outwork everybody."
Great advice.
But he said, treat it like a job, man. He goes, put in 6 hours a day of reading the kind of books you want to maybe write or be a part of, or if they became a film you like, watch the films that inspire you, pick the actors you think that you want to be like, and watch all of their bodies of work and find your voice in that. Just like we do as stand-ups, we watch great stand-ups, and from that comes our own voice as we find out who we are. Mm-hmm. And then the biggest piece of advice that really helped me is when you get into this business, know what you are. Don't try to chase the trend. In show business, there's a trend every month. It's the nutty guy. It's the angry guy. It's the neurotic woman. It's the power woman. It's the whatever you are. It doesn't matter. Stay true to what you are, so that when that thing is being looked for, you are at your best. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. That's actually very good advice. I see what you're saying there. You're back on the boards doing the stand-up, which is where you started.
Yep.
And you were a road guy too, right? You were out there quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I did the road for. I started in Orlando. I'm from Pittsburgh. My parents got divorced. I started in Orlando when I was 17. I lived in Orlando, went to New York, and New York quickly told me I wasn't funny. In 2 years, I had to go back to Florida and then regather. And then I lived in Atlanta. Then I lived in Chicago. Then I came out here. So I did all the road gigs in between in cars on the East Coast. And so I did about 9 years on the road, and then came to LA. And then 10 quick years later, I was an overnight success.
Yeah. Well, it never happens overnight, really, does it? It's always you got to get out there and learn, and
it happens to some people overnight. I don't, and especially in today's world with the phone. The phone is like a slot machine. You say the right viral thing, and you're going to be what you are. I mean, you're going to be popular. I don't know how all that works. I'm just trying to get.
But to get that experience, you kind of have to be out there.
You do. I think you got to grind, and you got to understand that. Look, there's a lot of guys prettier than me that are more talented than me that didn't get shows. So you have to understand there is a little bit of luck involved. I think the harder you work on your craft, the longer your window stays open if that break happens. But the break itself, man, you know as well as I do, you got to be standing in the right place when the light, because it is just
there's a
strikes.
Luck comes into play.
We in trouble?
No, we're not. You know what? We're going to do a quick Pittsburgh quiz. Are you ready for that?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, favorite Penguin of all time?
Oh, man, it's. I gotta go with you. I love Crosby, but Lemieux's probably my guy, and Malkin's up there too. Malkin's make me a milkshake. Malkin, he's another one.
I like Malkin. I had Yager.
Yeah, well, he betrayed us a little bit. He had a Dallas Cowboys shirt on during the Super Bowl against the Steelers. I don't think I've ever forgiven him.
Oh, you
for that.
can't. No, I take him off my list.
I don't even forgive him, and I'm not a Pittsburgh fan.
Okay, favorite Steeler. Favorite Steeler.
Favorite Steeler of all time, probably. When I was a kid, it was Jack Lambert. But because of my success, I was very blessed in being able to get to be friends with some of the Rooneys and Bill Cowher, and I got to do some amazing things with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I developed a friendship with Franco Harris, rest his soul. And our wives hit it off. And after being around Franco and seeing the kind of human he is, he's my favorite Pittsburgh Steeler.
I met him, a gentleman and an amazing guy. Yep.
Gentleman, man.
Yep.
Always
my favorite, Rocky Blyer. Okay.
Rocky's another good one.
Favorite pirate.
Oh, without question, Willie Stargell. When I was a kid, the thing I loved about the '79 Pirates, we lost another great one
Parker,
recently. Parker, and he just got the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But what I loved about that team, first of all, I used to do his windmill thing in Little League, like I was Willie, because I had a little gut on me. That's what I loved about the '79 Pirates. Those guys all looked like they worked at the grocery store and then they just showed up at the ballpark and were amazing.
They rubbed their bellies while they played.
They would catch Parker smoking Carltons in the dugout. You can't do that.
You gotta love that.
Because of his leadership and how clutch he was at the plate. He was just, and then I bought a couple pieces of memorabilia when I hit, because there's a couple of things that I really wanted, and my other pirate is Doc Ellis.
Oh,
because he threw a no-hitter on LSD.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that.
It doesn't get any better than that.
He didn't even know he was going to be pitching that day. He's like, what?
I couldn't even get out of the room when I took LSD. How do you throw a no-hitter? He should have done that every day.
Stark was the only guy that ever hit it out of Dodger Stadium. I think it was one of the three guys that hit it out of the park.
But it's still harder to pitch a no-hitter on acid. Sorry, Mel.
Much more fun, I think.
He said it was like throwing a BB into a well.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
With killer trails.
All right, we got to plug your Morongo date. It's July 12th, Morongo Casino. Go see Billy Gardell. He is a terrific stand-up comic. And
I love you. It's always good to see you, man. Always good to talk with you. You are an LA staple, my brother. And thank you for the support over the years. Always a gentleman. And please tell Mel I've completed my service. Don't send him to the house. It's my job.
He's still going to be lurking in your neighborhood. I have a feeling.
You ain't getting away from Mel. Mel missed his opportunity. He should have been a bounty hunter.
That would have been a good career move. Go see Billy and Morongo. Great to see you, buddy.
Love you, brother.
I love you, brother.
Love you, man.
Yeah.
Take care. Thanks, buddy. There he is. Billy Gardell. We love him. And this is the Frazer Smith Show, presented by the Accent Attorney, SweetJames.com. You've been hurt in an accident, call 1-800-9-million.